What is going on, guys? Chase Greer here with Morrison Property Inspections located in beautiful Boise, Idaho. And today we're talking about what home inspectors don't do. Now, with that being said, let's go. All right, guys. So today, like I mentioned, we're talking about what home inspectors don't do. Now, you may be familiar with the inspection process already. Maybe you watched a couple of the past videos and got an understanding as to what we do on the property and the expectations to have as a home buyer in your inspection contingency. But I want to clarify a couple items because I get questions on this quite often. First and foremost, home inspectors do not provide price appraisals. We do not provide price estimates. We do not give our opinion on the price of the home. That is not our job, our area of expertise, or even our business to be mentioning the price of the home. People oftentimes get inspectors and appraisers confused, so I understand the complication there, and especially when you're going through a home purchase. There's a lot of moving parts, and it can get very confusing because you get bombarded as a prospective home buyer. But something to keep in mind, we do not give price appraisals. That's not our job. Our job is to give you the facts of the conditions of the systems and components of the home, and it's your job to determine, based off those facts, do I want to pay X amount of dollars for that piece of property? Number two is we are not code compliance inspectors. And let me dive into this a little bit further and provide an example for you guys well too. There's a difference between knowing code and understanding code for the sake of a general home inspection and providing an actual code compliance inspection. It's two different things, completely separate from each other, although they do sound very related. So to further explain that, let me utilize the example of the National Electric Code. It has since been updated just over the last couple months, but I think it's an easy one to refer to, and most people I think would understand it, especially if you're watching this video. In 2023, the National Electric Code disallowed outlets to be installed under countertops or islands in a kitchen because those appliances are getting dragged off the countertop, whether that's by maybe the little kid in the family, maybe it's the family pet, maybe it's the purse or the bag getting hung up on the cord as you walk by it, dragging it off, creating a safety hazard. Now, that might seem silly to some, but the code's created for a reason, and it's not our job to argue it. It's just our job to inspect and to understand it. So that's an easy example. Like I mentioned, that was changed in 2023 to where it outlawed that. It has since changed now, partially through this year of 2025. And let's give the example of a home inspection I did this summer before the code has been changed back. Now, someone's buying a house that's built in 2022. That's a relatively new house, right? Only a couple of years old. And so when I'm inspecting it and I see outlets under the countertops, what do? My job is to educate the home buyer of the update and the change in the code. Although the code has changed, because it's a resale home, it's not a new construction, it's okay for the code to no longer be updated to current standards because you can't keep up with every single code change when you buy a house. I live in a 2009 built house. There are things here that are certainly not up to code. However, I bought it just fine without any issues with that. Now, it is up to the home buyer to get that information from their inspector and determine, is this a safety hazard for us? Every single person is different. If they have maybe small children running around the house, that might be more of a concern for them. Or if maybe they're a newlywed couple with no babies or a retired couple with no babies in the house and they're not too worried about it, they decide to move forward and not make an issue of it. Who cares? It's subjective to them. Now, I had to alert them of the code change, but it's up to them on whether or not they decide to move forward with that property given the condition of it. That, in comparison to code compliance is looking for the updated code across the entire property. I'm not a code compliance inspector, so I'm not going to speak too heavily on it. In terms of the process, there's people that are far more educated in that process than me, but I wanted just to reiterate the point that there's two different inspections, and the general residential home inspector has to know code, but does not perform a code compliance inspection. And last but not least, home inspectors do not make repairs on the homes they inspect. Now, home inspectors live in a weird gray area in many states because we're unregulated, unlicensed in many cases, similar to the state of Idaho. And with that, there's no real governing board that is overseeing us. Now, we are tied into real estate, we're tied into contractors to a degree, but we really are our own weird zone of industry. And because we have no regulation in many states, it kind of creates a Wild West scenario for people who want to take advantage of the system. Your home inspector should never be offered to make repairs on the property that they're inspecting. It's a conflict of interest, because if I call out an issue with the roof and I say, oh, by the way, I can make the repair on the roof, it's just going to cost the replacement of, I don't know, $10,000, $15,000. I'll take care of it for you. That's a conflict of interest. We're not certified roofers. We're not certified plumbers. Home inspectors can have those certifications, but when they put their home inspector cap on to go into a house during escrow, they have to leave that aside. That is not their job anymore to provide a quote for roofing. Their job is to provide a home inspection and provide their buyer all the details they need to make a decision moving forward. To recap, guys, we don't do price appraisals. We are not code compliance inspectors, and we do not make repairs on homes that we inspect. Now, if you find this content and information useful for you or educational, please like, share, subscribe, and looking forward to sharing more with you here shortly.